Welcome to Arsenal Kids Podcast.
Hello and welcome to Arsenal Kids Podcast. My name is Madi and I'm joined by my co-host Ben. And it is great to have you join us for this episode. One where we get to celebrate that North London is red.
It is great every time, isn't it, Maddie? And hello to our listeners. North London is red, and welcome to episode number 140.
Thanks, Ben. And what are we talking about in Arsenal Kids Podcast this time?
Well, Maddie, in part one, let's start with the best news, and that is that North London is red. Have we mentioned that yet?
Even if we wore our black t-shirts on the occasion, we would beat Tottenham by 1-0.
Indeed, and then in part two, we're going to look at men's team manager Mikel Arteta, who has signed a new contract.
And we also have a new commercial partner on our Premier League award winner to announce.
Okay, all to come, and a quick reminder to you to help us to grow our Arsenal Kids community and not miss when we have new episodes. You can do that through telling other people about us, liking, reviewing and sharing our podcast with others, or by following us on social media.
We would love for you to join us on this adventure together.
We would indeed, and Maddie, the men's team headed to the toilet bowl-shaped Tottenham Stadium for a North London derby away, and it was the first time we had started a Premier League game without both of Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard since Rice joined at the beginning of last season. And so we had Jorginho and Trossard in the midfield in their places.
And the home crowd was very noisy from the start of the game.
Yes, and two great saves from David Raya in our goal did little to slow that down as he pushed away a drive from close range and then tipped an awkward cross around the post. But then we conjured up some big chances. Firstly, Kai Havertz met a cross with his head, only for the Spurs keeper to pull off a great save to keep it out. And then a great ball from Trossard into the path of Gabriel Martinelli released our winger down the left, but he couldn't find enough curl on his shot, aiming for the bottom corner, and the keeper saved comfortably as Bukayo Saka, who had made an awesome run into the centre, stood watching on.
But as the game took place, it seems like there would be a great chance of a red card, then a goal.
You are correct, Maddie, as there really were no other sights on goal from us, and only a couple of half chances fell to Spurs with a header going wide and a wildly thrashed shot going over the bar. Jared Gillett, the Australian referee in charge of the match, was the busiest man in the opening half, as he dished out 7 yellow cards, 5 to Spurs and 2 to us, the joint most cards ever to be shown in the first 45 of a Premier League match, as the Derby Day passion began to boil over as the game edged to its midpoint.
And the beginning of the second half began much the same as the first.
Yes, it did. While we looked dangerous on the counter-attack in the final third, our final ball kept letting us down. But we kept on defending well, and then eventually our quality came to the fore. A swift counter-attack that began with Gabriel blocking a shot saw us win a corner, and Bukayo Saka whipped in a devilish ball right into the 6-yard box where Big Gabby escaped his marker and powerfully dispatched a header against the Spurs' helpless keeper, who saw it go past him before he could even react. And to say that it sent the travelling supporters and Maddie and I at home who were watching the game live into raptures was an understatement. And it meant that we could sing one of our favourite songs.
1-0 to Arsenal!
Indeed, and then with still 25 minutes to play, you felt like Spurs might do something, but they offered very little, with Raya rarely troubled throughout the remainder of the game as chances dried up. With 10 minutes to go, we saw Raheem Sterling come off the bench for his Gunners debut, and Jesus also got some minutes as he returns from injury. And while Saka went down and was replaced by promising youngster Ethan Nwaneri, we're hopeful that it was just cramp and he will be back for our next game. But that was about it, as the Spurs were pretty average, and it meant that our team shoot up to second on the ladder just behind Manchester City.
And our player of the player of the game, Ben?
It has to be, I think, Maddie, none other than Big Gabriel. Not only did he score the only and decisive goal to get us the win, his defending was simply next level, as together with William Saliba, Urian Timber and Ben White, they shut down the Spurs attack time and time again. And Big Gabby also made more clearances than any other player on the pitch. His effort and energy was awesome, and it was great to see him play, defend and score to take away our player of the match.
And next up for the team, Ben?
Well, Maddie, next up is our first Champions League fixture for the season in the new format which we spoke about in our previous episode. We're going to be headed to Italy to face Atalanta in a couple of days as our midweek fixture. And Maddie, I think you and I are going to be heading into Brisbane to watch it live with the Arsenal Brisbane Supporters Club before then on the weekend a top of the table Premier League clash when we head to Manchester to face City away from home.
Looking forward to the big game coming up.
And a reminder that the other big game coming up is for the women's team, who are going to be headed to Sweden to face BK Häcken in the first leg of their Champions League Round 2 qualifying midweek as well. But a reminder to all our listeners before we break that North London is red.
Okay, well, let's leave it there for part 1, and we'll be right back after this with part number 2. Welcome back, and let's talk about the men's team manager signing a new contract with the club.
Sure thing, Maddie, and we're delighted to announce that Mikel Arteta has signed a new long-term contract, meaning that he's going to be here with us for the next little while. Since joining us from December 2019 as head coach, Mikel has been a key figure in re-establishing the Gunners as a force at the top of English and European football and generating a renewed connection between the team, the club and the supporters.
Since joining the club, our manager has also brought in some silverware.
He has. We've got an FA Cup, a couple of Community Shields, and he's gone oh so close to the Premier League, our most recent record-setting campaign, taking us to the final day of the competition. But we've also again qualified for the Champions League and rebuilt our squad into a team of world-class players.
Mikel says that he is extremely proud and very excited and looking forward to what is coming next.
He said that he feels extremely lucky to work every single day with good people and the ambition we have at the Arsenal. He feels very inspired. He feels challenged. He feels supported, and he wants to do much more than we've already done together. I'm excited about the future with Mikel and look forward to him continuing to transform our club into the world-class club that we truly are.
I agree. And in our news, Ben, we have a commercial partner.
Yes, Maddie, the club have agreed a deal with NTT Data, a global digital business and IT services leader, and they're going to become Arsenal's official digital transformation partner. Through real-time analysis, AI, digital twin and private 5G technologies, they can bring fans closer to their heroes and the defining moments, whether that be from home, online or in the stadiums of the future. It's a lot of computer mumbo-jumbo to me, but it also will help the club to strengthen its connection with supporters around the world so that they can serve them better, which I could always get behind.
Me too. And lastly, Ben, a Premier League award winner in our team.
Yes, Maddie, David Raya's outstanding reaction save to deny Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins that we spoke about a few weeks ago has won the Premier League Save of the Month award for August. Our shot stopper had 2 of the shortlisted contenders for this prize, but it was his sensational stop at Villa Park that beat his effort against Wolves as well as his fellow shot stoppers from across the division to land David the accolade for the very first time in his career.
And it was an amazing save.
Yes, from a seemingly stranded position on his goal line, David leapt up and tipped away the header as he sent the Gunners on their way to a 2-0 victory. He says it is because of his repetition at training that helped him make that save, so a reminder for all budding footballers to put your best into your training sessions so that you can also be ready in match situations. Good advice for every player, and congratulations, David.
Okay, well, let's wrap it up for this episode. Thanks again for joining us at Arsenal Kids Podcast.
Before we sign off, we want to express our gratitude to you for your continued support. If you haven't already, follow, like, and subscribe so you don't miss us in the future. Remember, your love for the beautiful game is what fuels our passion.
And we would love you to spread the word about Arsenal Kids Podcast this time.
Yes, please share our podcast with other Arsenal kids you know and help us to grow this amazing community together.
We hope to join you back on the pitch again soon.
Keep the spirit of the game alive, and until next time,
Goodbye.